Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Islam differs from many other religions in providing a complete code of life. The preservation of aql, for example mind, intellect, sanity, reason, and so on, is of paramount importance as with our minds, aql. We recognize God, Allah, and recognize the fidelity and sincerity of the messengers of Allah. We use our minds to comprehend what Allah has sent and to know the right from wrong. With our thinking faculty endowed by God, we recognized Him and the world around us and discovered not only our earth, the universe, but above all our Creator. And in our creation and all the creatures He has spread about, there are signs for people who use their minds or reasons. Quran chapter 45 verse 4. In another one, there are signs for people who use their minds or reasons. Quran chapter 16 verse 10 to 12. By reciting verse number 2 of Surah Al-Jumu'ah of the Quran, Shaykh Hasan Ali mentioned the 4 missions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, with some examples from the Sahabi radiallahu anhuma and the life of our beloved Prophet ﷺ to understand why it's not just enough to recite the Quran. We need to know what those specific meanings of the Quran are sent to us, how to apply the acquired knowledge from the Quran and wisdom, and purify our heart by removing illness like arrogance, pride, jealousy in heart to function that knowledge well. Let's listen to Shaykh Hasan Ali to know about 4 missions and save ourselves from the days of Jahiliyyah or ignorance by achieving the spiritual cleanliness in our hearts. Jazakallah khair.
My dear respected brothers and sisters, Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He sent His messenger amongst the people who had no revelation before. He sent amongst them a person who was from them as a messenger. This was Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When He sent our Prophet ﷺ to the Sahaba, who were going to become the Sahaba. Right now, they were living a life of Jahiliyyah, but they were about to transform their lives through what the Prophet ﷺ was going to give to them. So he had 4 things to give to them. One was يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِ. The Prophet ﷺ recited the Quran to them. The Quran itself is the biggest source of knowledge we can get in this world. There is nothing more truthful than the Quran. But it's not enough just to recite the Quran. Allah follows it by saying the second thing, وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابِ. Allah Azza wa Jalla then taught them through the Prophet ﷺ, He taught them what the Quran is actually saying. Even Arabs who know the Arabic language, the Sahaba knew the Arabic language, but why did the Prophet ﷺ have to recite the Quran and teach them the book? It is because if you know the Arabic, the Quran has specific meanings which you need to know what they mean. So it's not enough just to know Arabic, you have to know what Allah meant by those Arabic words. So this is another whole section of knowledge which the Prophet ﷺ passed on to the Sahaba. So for example, as an example, Allah said in the Quran, we can eat in the nights of Ramadan, from Maghrib all the way till dawn, we can eat and we can drink food. And Allah said, تَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ. Allah said, when the khayt al-abyad, which is the white string, becomes apparent and clear from khayt al-aswad, which is the black string, when that happens, then this is the time for you to stop. Now, what did that mean? What Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu did, or a Sahabi did, is that he had under his pillow, he had 2 strings, and he would carry on looking at one black string and one white string, and he would look at both of them in the night. And if he couldn't differentiate between the two, then he would continue to eat. And if he could tell the difference between the black and white one, then he would stop eating. But that's not what the Quran actually meant. The Quran, in saying khaytul abyad, the white string and the black string, it was talking about the darkness of the night as the black string, and the true breaking of the dawn, the white light that appears at the horizon. This was the khaytul abyad. And once he realized that from the Prophet ﷺ, then he realized what to do. See, this is the knowledge of وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابِ. It's not just enough to recite the Quran. We need to know what those specific meanings of the Quran are saying to us. Then the third thing is hikmah. What does that mean? That means you can have all the knowledge you want, but if you don't know when to apply that knowledge, where to apply that knowledge, you don't know how much of the knowledge to apply, then you basically hit another big rock. Because a lot of people, they can know the Quran, how to recite it, they know what the meaning of the Quran is, but they want to go out and preach everything to everyone equally. That doesn't work like that. See, the Prophet ﷺ, he taught us hikmah, which is wisdom. If you look at his Meccan life, when he was a minority with the Muslims, he preached differently. And when he was in Medina life, he preached differently. And even in the Medina life, certain situations arose and he decided to stay quiet at times. And certain situations arose and he decided to speak very strongly. See, this is all hikmah. When to apply that knowledge, where to apply that knowledge, how much of that knowledge to apply, to whom to apply that knowledge. This is all hikmah. Then the final thing which Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed is وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ, the purification of the inside. See, when knowledge comes, what happens is people can still have diseases inside them. What are these diseases? What are these illnesses inside? This is the illness or the disease of, let's just say, arrogance, of pride, of jealousy, of malice, of hatred, of rivalry, of stubbornness, of wrath, there are a lot of illnesses that the heart can have. And because of these illnesses, that person of knowledge, they're not able to function as well as they should do because of those illnesses inside. So the Prophet ﷺ first purified them from shirk, and then he purified them from these illnesses. We have a famous hadith of Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anhu. Once he got into an argument with another sahabi and he said something bad to his mother. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Abu Dharr, did you say something bad about his mother? إِنَّكَ مُرُؤٌ فِيكَ جَاهِلِيَّةٌ. This is a hadith in Bukhari. The Prophet ﷺ said, you are a man in whom there are still reminiscences of the days of ignorance, of the days of Jahiliyyah, of the days when it was a barbaric lifestyle and they had no Islam. So what that means is that our attitude and so on inside needs to change, and that's where you zakih him. That's when tazkiyah or the spiritual cleanliness happens. So the Prophet ﷺ came to recite the verses, he came to teach us the book, the meaning of the book, he taught us how much to apply, what not to apply from his sunnah, to have this wisdom of knowing where to apply, to whom to apply to, and most importantly after that is for our own spiritual cleanliness of the heart. The Prophet ﷺ also gave us that teaching that we're supposed to clean our inside. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless all of you out there. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us tawfiq to join any good course out there, any good set of people who are teaching you the knowledge of Islam. For us to go to real teachers, for us to learn from people who have got a chain linking all the way to the Prophet ﷺ, who have learned from teachers, who learn from teachers, who learn from teachers, and go all the way back, who learned from the Sahaba, who learned from the Prophet ﷺ. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us tawfiq to do this and to really, get the best embodiment of this Quran and Sunnah in our lives. Ameen. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum brothers and sisters. Hope this video was helpful for you. This may help others too, so please consider sharing, and we will bring more videos in the future inshallah. So consider subscribing and you won't miss any. Jazakallahu khairan.